Hello YouTube, this is Crazy Cool New Yorker coming at you today. Well, how's everyone doing? Oh, as you can see, it's a little gray out, but the sun is supposed to come out. It's supposed to be really nice today. So I put my son on the bus and I decided to go out and ride. Wait, am I recording? Yes, I am. You can't tell. See, my wrist, my armband is still gone. My remote is still missing. So I'm going to, I have to check. I still got to find that remote. I'm so mad that I misplaced my remote. I'm disappointed in myself. I try to keep everything together when I come from riding. But unfortunately, hey, it is what it is. So what's everyone up to? Last time I spoke, I told you how my wife and I, we got back into the gym. And one of the things that she embraced was Zumba, and at Crunch Gym she got this she joined the Crunch Gym, and she actually attends the Zumba class on a regular. She goes, I think, like 4 or 5 times a week. She says she takes off Fridays, but sometimes I've seen her going in on a Friday. But I actually went with her. I didn't attend the class, but she wanted to try out this new Zumba class in Hyde Park. It was Quiche Mode Fitness, I believe, and she liked the different styles, the different types of music that the person was putting up. She was driving by because it's actually down the block from my son, and she saw the class and she heard the music, so she said she stopped in there just to, you know, inquire, and the young lady was very nice and told her that, you know, she's doing this for a trial and that she's you know, just getting the feel out of it. So my wife was like, you know, how much for the class and stuff? So she said right now she finished the package because it's a trial, but she said the Zumba class is just $10. So I was like, hey, you know, that's not bad when she told me that. So she came home all excited, said, I'm going to give the girl a try. I said, all right. She went and she had a great time. And she said what was great about it is the instructor played different types of music and even did a Soul Train line for the girls. So I guess, you know, that, what does that have to do with motorcycling? Nothing. But I figured if I'm going to share my life, you got to share the positives, the negatives, the kookiness and the greatness all at the same time. So my wife stated that she had a great time and that the girl really put the work in, as you can say, because everybody up in there was sweating. She called it like a no judgment zone, I guess. So they was really, really enjoying themselves, which is good. You know, if it's another way of my wife getting healthy, I am all for it. She gets that great cardio in, and she does it. She knows how to select good stuff, and that didn't make sense, but she knows how to apply herself and really go after it, because when she's trying to get herself into shape, she really goes for it. So I thought I would just share that little brief thing with you. I know the girl is located in Hyde Park, actually. I'm probably going to ride past it. The young lady is located in Hyde Park, and she said it was great. So now, what is my topic of the day? You know what? I'm going to share a little situation with you guys that happened to me while I was on the train station, and I'm going to call it diversity. Now, growing up, I went to school in the New York City area. So I grew up with kids from all backgrounds, and when I say all, I had kids, and I didn't know their ethnic background because they were just my friends. We were just kids. And the reason why I'm bringing up this story is my son and I were on the train, the Metro North train, heading into the city. It was a little packed, and this Asian lady, this Asian couple sat in front of us, because you could sit alone, but the train was packed. So there's a couple of seats to the end that face each other. So my son and I, we sat in those two seats, and we was actually going to the car show. So that's why I'm bringing it up now. And then this Asian couple, husband and wife, and their daughter sat in front of us. So before I get into that story, I'm just going to tell my childhood very quickly. So as I stated, growing up in my school, from as long as I could remember, I had kids from all ethnic backgrounds, from all areas of the world. I had kids from Asia, I went to class, but my whole entire school was very diverse as well. We had kids from Russia, we had, of course, kids from America, India, Latin American countries, what am I missing out there? Canadian, European countries, African countries. We had it all. It was such a diverse school that I don't think we knew at that age, because you're 5 years old, you don't know where people's heritage are from. You just know this is a kid, this is your friend, and everybody treated everybody the same. It was with respect. And I noticed, now that I think about it, we didn't judge you on your skin color. You wasn't judged on what nationality or where your parents came from or anything of that nature. Why? Because that was above us. We were too simple for that. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that we were in a more simpler time. As kids, you're more of a simpler time. Your brain has not developed to acknowledge everything of the world today, to accept it. So what I do remember is I had all types of friends, and all the parents spoke. It was like there was no animosity, there was nothing. They all had a same end goal. We had kids in the school. We want our kids to learn, and we want our kids to be safe. And I always cherished that I grew up in such a diverse area. And because my school was diverse, my neighborhood was very diverse as well. And again, I went to school with everything. I didn't know what you was until we got older, and you said you was from this country or that country, and by that time it didn't make a difference. I remember one girl that you had the first, second grade crush on. She was from Yugoslavia. How am I supposed to know that? I didn't know that until we were in junior high. That's when I realized, and you start going, okay, so what country are you from and stuff like that, because that's when the teacher started asking. But before, we were always just good friends. I had friends from, I would say, every part of the world growing up. And my neighborhood was a melting pot, literally a melting pot of diversity. And I love that. I really, really do. And so getting to the train, of course, my son and I are sitting there, and I must add, the school that he goes to right now, even though we no longer live in the city, we do live in a very diverse area. So there is a heavily population of different cultures that come together to live together. There is no tension. I've never seen any racial tension or anything of that nature that I've seen. If there is some, I'm sure there is somewhere in the area. But I've never seen it. I've never experienced it in my community. So we get on the train. We're heading to New York City. We're basically heading to the car show. And it's packed. It's packed. And we are, actually my wife is there too. I'm sorry, babe, I forgot. She's going to kill me because I forgot she was there. But she was there as well. So we're all heading down to the New York Auto Show. And as I stated, the train is pretty packed. It's a Friday. We were trying to get down there early so we could beat the crowd. And an Asian couple Asian family sits down in front of us. And we all say hello. Someone sits in front of you, just say hello, but we keep going. But right away, my son, I think he lets like 2 seconds pass, and he leans over to me and says, "Dad, can I talk to him, their son? Can I play with him?" And I said, I guess so, but you have to ask his parents. So I guess the parents heard my son say so. They was like, sure, yes, no problem. So we kind of put them, my son was next to the window, so they put their son next to the window. So now we're all just in the area, and they're talking. First the kids break the ice and they're playing with the little stuff, because my son, of course, whenever we travel, he has to bring toys. It is what it is. He's 5 years old. He's got to bring toys. But he doesn't see an Asian kid in front of him from a different part of the world. What he sees is a kid who's a possible friend. That's what he sees, and that's what I love. That's what diversity, growing up in a diverse area, brings. Acceptance. So him and the kid are playing, and my wife and we began to strike up a little conversation with the family as well. We asked them where they're from, and they're actually from China. And they said they just moved here like a year ago, and this is their first auto show. And so we were, you're going to have a lot of fun. We used to go to it when we were younger, but this is actually our son's first time at the show, and he's excited. And so I asked, I said, are you guys visiting, or you live here? And they said, no, we lived here. And I said, like, man, I asked, and I was very polite, why did you move here? Is for a new job or something? And they looked at me and said, no, we want our son to grow up and see other cultures, to see other ethnic backgrounds. Because in China, in the town that they grew up in, you just see Chinese. And my wife and I was like, oh my goodness, really? She goes, yes, you just see Chinese. And she goes, the only time I saw a person of a different culture is if I went to the big city or on TV. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. You don't really think about that. But she said, so they wanted their son to be as diverse as possible and to experience different cultures and not be so fearful, she said, encased or enclosed or something of that nature. So, and I totally understood exactly what she meant, because it brings acceptance to another culture. And as you can see, unfortunately, we're just going a little crazy right now. We'll get our act together. Humans, we can always go up and down, but I just love the fact that my son is growing to a school where there's a strong, diverse class. There is no, this is just one thing. The whole school is diverse. The whole school has a mixture of kids, and they all play together. And I think that's just special. I love that, because that takes me back to when I was a kid, and that's how I started learning about different cultures, because, again, I didn't know where they were from until we got a little bit older. And then the first thing you ask is, have you ever gone back to your home? Have you ever gone, what was it like? Do you remember? Did your parents ever share a story? So you start to learn about that person's culture. And that opened my eyes up to the world. I think that was my first taste of international knowledge, as you would say. Is that a thing? I don't know. But oh my goodness, this video is going too long. I'm sure it's probably past the 12-minute mark. I hate keeping you guys on so long like this. So I'm going to end it. But, hopefully, did you grow to school in a diverse area, or was it more just one culture and you didn't get to mix with other kids until you got older? And if so, what was it like for you? Did you create a kind of biased image because you never experienced that person, and sometimes your perception is distorted because all your knowledge is from hearsay or TV. It's never a first base experience. I don't know, but I'm very happy my son goes to a diverse school, and it's a really good school. Kids are top notch. They're learning excellent there. and I'm proud of the neighborhood that I live in as well. It's not city, it's country, but it's still great diversity in there, and I'm so happy and proud of that. So I'm going to end this with "This is a Crazy Cool New Yorker," saying ride what you love and love what you ride. Thank you.